So here we go. Welcome to Yoga for Yogis with Mandy on this Thursday morning. We thank Mandy for being our teacher, and we also thank the Yonkers Public Library for sponsoring this program. And we thank all of you for being part of our wellness community. For those of you who just joined us, please get either a strap or a towel to act as a strap, a blanket for your knees, or a towel if you need one, and either yoga blocks or 2 books or anything that can act as supports, because we'll be using a few props today. So I'm going to turn the class over to Mandy with no further ado. Mandy, take it away.
Okay, hello, welcome. So because it is raining so beautifully right now, I thought of a eye exercise, and just give me a nod if we talked about this last week, or shake your head if we didn't talk about this last week. No, we didn't. Okay, perfect. So obviously, maybe you guys are not that much on the screen as I am, but with the homeschooling and with the teaching and with, I'm doing a training right now, I'm on the screen all the time. And I read a couple of days ago that this is not really good for you, right? For your eyes especially, and you get very tired. So I remember we did this once in the library. There is something called eye yoga. I'm not going to go into it. We're not going to do it together now for 10 minutes. I just want to give you the idea of it. And so you can do it at home whenever you feel like it. So one of the things that are very easy and very effective is the eye pillows, or even just a little bit of a towel or a scarf that you put over your eyes, because the eyes relax the best with darkness. The second things is that we can strengthen the eye muscle. So if you would imagine a clock right in front of your face, and then you imagine 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock, and you just sit very still, and without moving your head, just your eyes, you move your eyes over to 3 o'clock, and then over to 9 o'clock, and try not to blink. I'm blinking because I'm talking. And you do this 10 times each side. And that strengthens your eye muscle. Please plan facelift yoga soon. Okay. All right. And the other thing you can do is, of course, you picture 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So you look all the way up without moving your head, and then all the way down. And if you do it like 10 times each time, you will maybe realize that your head is slightly moving. It's very hard to not move the head. And then you can do it, across each direction. And then after that, you can go around with your eyes. You can go to all the numbers 10 times this way without moving your head, and 10 times the other way. One of the other things that I really liked, and today is a perfect day for that. So there's 2 ways you can do it. If you stretch out your arm and you put your thumb up like this, and you focus your gaze onto your thumb, and then you look at something that is, for example, on the other side of the room, on the wall, or maybe a picture, and then you zoom back to your thumb and back to the wall. So you change your focus. So with the kids, we tried that and they loved that. So, but I really liked it too. So with the rain like that, what is really nice, if you have a good view, is to look at the raindrop on your window, and then look at something that is really far away, like the horizon, or we have a church tower here, so we look at the tip of the tower of the church. So that really is a good zooming in and zooming out. So that's just something I wanted to mention, and you can try afterwards or whenever you feel like it. So then just find, I'm staying here because we do alternate nostril breathing. So find a comfortable seat on a pillow, on a blanket, and then just relax your shoulders, rest your hands on your knees, and just breathe. Breathe into the belly. In through the nose and out through the nose. And then get your right hand ready and get your thumb ready, your right thumb and the fourth and fifth finger. And bring your right thumb onto the right nostril. And then inhale through your left nostril. When you're done with that, close it and let the air out of your right nostril. Then inhale through the right. Close it, exhale through the left. Close your eyes, inhale through the left. Close it, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close it, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close it, exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Close it, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left. Close it, exhale through the right. I stop talking now and you keep doing it in your own time. And then slowly finish your round. And slowly open your eyes. Take your time. And I come back to the mat. And lie down on your back. Have your strap close by and a block or the book or the books. Bend your knees. And again, bring both knees into the chest. And then let the knees go and take a deep breath in. Exhale out, bring the knees into the chest. Inhale, let the knees go. Exhale, bring the knees into your chest. And then slowly start circling the knees. Massage the lower back. And then change your direction. Circle the knees separate. And then the other way. And slowly let your feet go back down onto the floor as wide as your mat and bring your knees together. Long neck. And then slowly start moving your knees both ways, both knees into the same direction. You can do it in your own time. You can go a little slower or you can go a little faster. It's up to you. Do what feels right for you. And see how you can maybe, open up the front here from the knee all the way to the ribs. Lift that. For example, when you go over to the left, you lift the right hip. When you go over to the left, you lift that left hip a little bit. Not on purpose, it's just because you move your legs that way, your hip is getting lifted a little bit and gets a really nice stretch just by the weight of your leg and gravity. And then slowly bring the legs back to the middle and parallel your legs again. And bring your right knee into the chest. Stretch your left leg out. And again, let that right knee go a little bit. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale out. Bring the knee into your chest. Lift your head. Nose towards that right knee. Flex both feet. Slowly lower back down. Switch to the other side. So bring your left leg in, stretch your right leg out. And if you feel like, no, I don't want to stretch out my other leg, then you can keep that bent. Let that knee go a little. And as you take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale out, bring that left knee in and bring the nose towards the left knee. And slowly lower back down. Shake those legs out and get your strap, your towel, your belt, whatever you have available. And then bring your right foot into the strap. And again, you can keep the left knee bent for the whole time. And you can play around with it. See how it feels if you stretch out that left leg. But first focus on your right foot again. So stretch out the back of the leg a little without pulling the leg in yet. So just keep it here. And if the knee is bent, stay with that. Just focus on the heel, push the heel towards the ceiling, and the toes pull down towards you. And breathe, work with the breath. With your next exhale, see how it feels to stretch out that left leg. Maybe your leg goes back a little bit, and maybe that still feels okay. And maybe you bend your knee a little more, and then your lower back doesn't bother you. And then with your next exhale, you can bring that leg a little closer if you want, if that feels okay. Breathe. Relax the shoulders, your forehead, the jaw, and the tongue in your mouth. Breathe. And then slowly bring both hands, take your time. Bring your hands onto the, one hand. Take the both of the straps into your right hand and then slowly open your leg out towards the right. So I have the wall here. I hope you don't. Keep your left foot flexed. Keep your right foot flexed. See also, maybe you feel better if you bend that left knee. And breathe here. And then slowly bring the leg back to the middle. Switch your hands. And let that leg almost by itself just go over to the other side. Don't push. Don't try to get a big range of motion. It's not possible. The big range of motion is only possible if you lift that right hip off the mat. Don't do it. And you can keep it bent. You can keep the left leg bent. If they're both stretched out, flex your feet. Push the heel away. Breathe. And then slowly come back to the middle. Take the strap off and switch it to the other side. Okay, first again, focus on the heel, push the heel towards the ceiling. See how your hands are. So if you're holding the strap like that, maybe your shoulders or your arms are not really that relaxed. So hold both with your hands close to your foot. And then take a deep breath in and see if you want to stretch out that right leg. If you do, flex your right foot. Push the heel away, relax your jaw, the shoulders, your elbows. And then with your next exhale, maybe straighten the knee a little more or bring the leg a little closer towards you. Breathe. And then slowly bring both straps into the left hand, either the right hand onto the right hip or right beside you onto the floor. Both feet are flexed. Push the heels away. Breathe. Maybe relax the shoulder, the opposite shoulder, right shoulder. Tongue in your mouth. And slowly bring the leg back to the middle. Take your time. Switch your hands. Right hand, left hand goes onto the left hip. Keep both feet flexed and move the leg slowly over to the other side. And slowly bring the leg back to the middle. Bend the knee and take the strap off. And then bring your right foot on top of the left knee and bring your left leg in. Interlace your fingers and flex both feet. Push the right knee out. Open up that right hip. Breathe. And slowly lower down. Switch the sides. And then bring that knee in. So we are doing at the ends, we will do a pigeon pose. So for many of us, that's a really, really tough pose. It's not happening, right? So this is the perfect pigeon pose instead of the one, when you're facing the floor. So at the end, we will go either to this or to the other version. And just observe how your hip feels right now. Maybe see how it feels at the end. And then slowly lower down and shake your legs out a little bit. So I'm gonna change my position right now. You don't. I just wanted to that you guys can see it better. Okay. So you just stay where you are and lift your knees into the chest and then lift the legs all the way up and just flex your feet and straighten the feet, point your feet. And then take a little bit of create a little bit of a space, hip width apart, circle your feet. And if your knees are bent, totally fine. If this is a little too much for your lower back, bend your knees. Circle your feet one way and then the other way. So this is not so much about the feet right now, but I just want some blood pumping here, right? Okay, so now open the legs and take your time. We are stretching the inner thighs here, right? You can also put the hands underneath your legs, on the side of your legs, just to support a little bit. And then you cross your legs. So your right leg goes over your left, and then you bend your knees. And then try to squeeze your feet towards each other. And bring your knees a little bit in. And then slowly untwist and shake the legs out. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So if you feel like, I don't really like this is funny on my lower back, maybe what could help is if you put your hands underneath your lower back and let your fingertips look out. So you have a little bit of a support. Then bring your legs back up, open the legs, open them nice and slowly. And it doesn't have to be wide. It can be here and your knees can be bent. Just so we stretch those inner thighs a little bit with the weight of both legs. And then the left goes over the right. And it might feel different on this side. And then push your legs towards each other. And bring the knees in a little bit towards you. And breathe here. And then slowly relax your legs back down. And then bring the knees back into your chest and lift your legs up, and we do the same thing, just the other side again. The right goes over the left leg, and then you lift up the upper body. Put the hands, we did this before, slide your hands towards your ankles and then bring the legs a little bit towards you. If this is not an option for you, just stay here and maybe try this push push the feet towards each other. It's different direction, but still opens up the hip joint. And then slowly lower back down. Shake the legs out. You can also skip this and just bring the knees into the chest and push them back out. And then lift the legs back up just for the other side. And now the left goes over the right. Lift your upper body up. Your hands go onto the knees. Slide out towards your feet and bring the legs into you. Breathe here. Nice hip opener. And then slowly relax the legs back down. Shake the legs out a little. Then bring your heels close to your tush. Push the arms down. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Push that lower back down into the mat. And exhale out. Relax your lower back. Relax your shoulders, your neck, your jaw. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale out, push that lower back down into the mat. Engage those abs. Feel how your tailbone lengthens towards your feet. And then slowly start rolling up. Keep breathing naturally. Just start lifting up into a bridge pose. And it's only like a quarter of a bridge pose that you might be able to do. And then you just roll all the way back down. And again, take a deep breath in. As you exhale out, engage those abs and flatten your lower back down into the mat and push your arms down, push your feet down, long neck. And maybe now you can lift up a little bit higher and you don't have to. And as you lower down the same way as you lift it up. So the last thing that touches the floor is your tailbone. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out, flatten that lower curve down into the mat. And that lifts up your tailbone all by itself. And then you lift up into bridge pose. And maybe you can come a little bit higher. Watch the neck, long neck. We tend to push the chin away from the chest, but lengthen the neck. Push the arms down. And what are your knees doing? Are they flaring out? Are they parallel? And then slowly, with control, roll down bone by bone by bone. The last one that goes down is your tailbone. So now let's see if we can, if you have a block, that is fantastic. If you have your books and it's more than one book, we have to kind of MacGyver our way through it with maybe a blanket or a towel. But for this one, that's okay. We can just use the books or the blocks. And I just realized the weight difference from the block and the book. So if you have a heavy book, you have to work a little more right now, but that's okay. So bring the books or your block in between the knees. And then press your arms down into the mat, and we do exactly the same thing. And if you realize when you are having those blocks in between your knees, your legs are forced to stay in a certain way. And when you're lifting up, maybe you realize, I can't lift up that high. That's fine. If you realize there's actually a pain in my lower back if I have the books or the block in between my knees, then take the block out straight away and just keep the legs as parallel as you can without any pain. Bring your arms right beside the body. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale out, lengthen the tailbone. Push the lower back down, squeeze into the books, and just lift your hips into bridge pose. Stay here and adjust the rest of your body. See how you can maybe wiggle your the top part of the body more onto the tips of the shoulders. Press your arms down. Press your feet down. We are opening up the whole front of the body. Breathe here. And then slowly, with control, roll back down, bone by bone by bone. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale out, lift again. Engage those abs. Start rolling up bone by bone by bone. If you like, try to interlace your hands, your fingers underneath your body and lift up a little higher. So this really closes the muscle chains and it helps you to push up a little bit higher. But there's no need. If you feel like, no, I'm doing enough work here right now, this is my edge, keep your hands right beside the body. This is an awesome bridge. We are opening up the front hip flexors, the psoas, and then slowly, slowly roll down bone by bone by bone. So now take the block out. So this is becoming a little bit of that MacGyver thing I was talking about. So if you have two books, so I show you first what we're gonna do. So if you have your block is perfect. We're gonna put the block, don't do it yet because I want to show you the other version. So we will put the block underneath the hips and then and your lower back. And you have to, you probably don't get it right straight away. You have to find a way where the edge of the block is not cutting in your spine or your lower back. So play around with it because we will stretch out the legs this way and this way. So if you feel like, this is a little too much, and I don't want to do that because I'm not there with you, I don't know, just stay here and we stretch out the legs this way. So you don't need anything underneath it. So the beauty of the books is if you have a towel, I don't have my towel here, or do I? 1 second. Yes. So if you have a towel and two books, chances are that the books might slide a little bit and the edge is much sharper as the edge would be on your block. So then just use the towel and wrap the towel around your books and put the books right in the middle where your lower back would be, or just actually put them to the side and then first lie down and see how it feels. You might hate this. And if you do, then there's no need to do it. Okay, so let's try. And try with the books or with your block and see if you find a comfortable position. I actually like the books and the towel much better. It's nice and soft. So see what you think. And you can also change the size of the book. If it's a little too high or you're not sure about your lower back, maybe you want just a smaller book. Okay, so I hope you are all ready and you have your knees bent and you found a comfortable position for the blocks underneath your lower back. So first is what we do, and this might be the only thing you want to do. Stay here. And if you feel, yes, this is fine, I don't want to do anything else, you can stay here. You can also see how it feels when you slide out one leg. And you don't have to slide it out the whole way. You can stop right here. Slide it out and see what it feels in the front, but also in the back. And this might be the moment that you think, okay, I want to adjust the blocks. Go ahead and do it. Don't just stay there and wait until it's over. Change it now. If you're here and you think, yeah, this is fine with me, bring the knee back and try the other side. The other side might feel a little different. Slide it out. Maybe flex your foot. See if that makes a difference. And point your foot. See how that feels. And then slowly slide your leg back in. And then let's see how it feels to have, let's try the same leg, to lift up one leg and see how that feels, right? And then maybe you can interlace the fingers behind your leg and bring the knee in a little closer. And then see how that feels. And maybe you think, yeah, that's fine with me. Slide out your right leg. And if you feel, no, this is not for me, as I said before, take the blocks out and do exactly this without any blocks. We are just getting a bigger stretch in the front. And then you can lift it up, bring the knee a little more into your chest. Then take a deep breath in. And as you exhale out, lift your head towards the nose. Maybe you feel your right leg lifting up a little bit. I feel a very nice stretch in the front of my right hip. And then slowly lower back down. And bring your left leg back down. Slide that right leg back in. Adjust if you have to adjust something. And then we do the same thing on the other side. So bring your right knee in. And this might be enough here. Stay here. And if you feel like it, you can see if you can slide out that left leg and stay here and breathe. And then another deep inhale. And as you exhale, lift your head towards the nose. Slowly lower your head back down. Bring your feet back down. And bend both knees. So stay here. If you feel like, yes, Mandy, that's enough, stay here. And if you feel like, yes, let's do a little more, go for it. You can stretch out both legs and see what that feels like. Open up the whole front. So be careful with your lower back. If you feel like, listen to that. Listen to your body. My spine is different than yours. And then see if you feel like, oh, this feels so fantastic. Let's lift up the arms and bring the arms over the head. Only if you think this is yummy and sweet and feels fantastic. If you hate this, don't do it. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out, release the shoulders and the legs, and then slowly bring one arm down and then the other. Slide one foot in and then the other. Press into your arms, press into your feet, lift your hips into bridge pose and take that block out. And slowly lower back down. Open up your feet as wide as the mat. Bring the knees together and just switch side to side. And then bring the knees into the chest. Lift your head and look towards your knees. And then slowly lower everything back down and come onto your sides and slowly into a seated position. All right, if you're up here, bring the soles of your feet together. Hold on to your feet or onto your legs, whatever feels better. And proud chest, long neck, long spine. If you like, open up with your elbows. Go onto the inner thighs and just squeeze a little bit. Or like stroke it out like that. Perfect. Then stretch both legs out. Flex your feet. Come into staff pose. Long spine. Push the knees down into the mat. And then bring the feet back into crisscross. And then take one leg and just rock gently from side to side. Oh dear, the time. All right, and then the other side. But I'm pretty sure you can open hips now. All right, we still do our pose. Okay, so now come on to the hands and the knees. I'll go this way today. Hands and knees. And then we come into the first downward dog. Tuck the toes under and lift all the way up. Pedal those legs. And find some stillness in that downward dog. Open up the chest. Feel the back of the legs. And then slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Forward, forward. Bend your knees a little. Shake the head yes. Shake the head no. And then engage those abs and inhale halfway up. Exhale forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale forward. And then bring the arms to the side, lift up all the way. And then bring the hands in front of your chest. And then we come into chair pose. So lift your arms all the way up and sit down in chair pose. Breathe here and slowly lift back up. Okay, adjust your pants. And then we come into eagle pose. So now, if you have your books, bring the book or the block or whatever you have onto when you stand here on the side of your left foot and stand right beside that block. When you're ready, bring your hands onto your hips and then bend your knees just as you did in chair pose, but not as much. Lift your arms to the side, drop your shoulders down, and now the left arm goes over your right and you bend your arms. So if you, and press the back of your hands together. So this might be enough already. You can stay here, right? Like this. You can also hook your hands, and then we don't know where the block is, right? So let's forget about that. Bring the hands back to the hips and focus on that foot, right? So the right foot steps right on that block right beside you. So your knees have an easy way of crossing and bending. So you want to keep that knee straight. You don't want it to collapse to the side. So stay here and bring that right foot onto the block. Now lift your arms again, and then the left goes under and then the right goes over, and drop the shoulders down, lift your elbows up. And as you lift your elbows up, you sit a little deeper in your eagle pose. Breathe, breathe here. And then slowly come back up, open up the arms, and then bring the block or your book over to the other side. So again, if your hips or your knees don't like that, then just come into a chair pose and bend your knees so that the muscles really have to work to hold you here, and then do your arms. You don't have to come into a full eagle pose. So bring your hands onto your hips. Lift your left foot and bring your left foot over to the block. And then without the right knee collapsing towards the left, you bend it. Yes, lift your arms. And then cross the other way. Bend. And drop your shoulders down, lift your elbows up. Breathe. Sit a little deeper if you want. See where you can go, right? And then slowly lift back up. Let the arms go back out to the side and bring the foot down. All right, and then come back to the front of your mat. And lift your arms all the way up and forward, forward. Bend your knees a little just so they're not locked. Lift halfway up. Exhale forward. And lift up into a straight back halfway. Exhale forward. Press your hands down into the mat and walk your feet all the way out. Pedal those legs a little. And come into downward dog. Stay here for a moment. And if you like, you can just stay here, and when you're done, you can rest in child pose at any time. If you're feeling like, yes, go on, Mandy, lift your right leg. And then bend your knee and open up. And slowly lower back down. And then lower down onto your knees. And then lean back into child pose. And then come out of that child pose and look for your block. And look also for that towel. So if the towel is still wrapped around it, that would be awesome. But if you have just a block, that's good too. So now you come into table. And you can also come into downward dog if this is easier to come into a pigeon pose from downward dog. So if you feel like, no, my knees and my hips don't like this, then wait a second. So if you're okay with this part or this version of the pigeon, then bring your right knee right behind your right wrist and slide the left back. Look back and see if your leg is straight. And then you can grab your padded books and put them underneath your tush. And you can stay here. And if this feels good, you can stay here or maybe come onto your forearms. And you can also lie down and forward. So that is one version. If you are here, stay here, breathe. If this is not your version, then come with me and lie down on the back, and we do this version of pigeon pose. You can also do another version, seated. Bring your right foot on top of the left knee, open up the chest, and then lift the left foot. Push the right knee towards the right corner of your mat. Breathe. Whatever version you chose, stay there and breathe. And then slowly, just because we want to have some time for Shavasana, come slowly back out of your version of pigeon pose. If you are here, where I am right now, tuck your toes under. Slide your right knee back and come back into table. Let's meet all in table. Just so everybody gets one more chance of downward facing dog. And if you want, you can open up your left hip. If you are not here and you didn't do this before, just rest in child pose. So tuck your toes under if you want to come, and then lift your hips. Open up the back of the legs again. Shoulders away from the ears, engage those abs, and lift your left leg all the way up. So try To keep the shoulders as square as possible. It's really hard to do that. And then bend your knee and open up towards the left. If it's your left knee, open up the hip here. So you could go right from here into pigeon pose. You can also just lower down, come into table, and then untuck the toes and slide your left knee right behind your left wrist, and then make sure you slide that right back up. Make sure it is straight ahead and it doesn't go in or out. And then again, you can use the block or a pillow or whatever you have to put underneath your toes. And then you can go into your pigeon pose. Again, if you want to come into this version, we just switch the legs, open up the chest, and bring that right foot in. Same thing when you lie down. Left knee on right, left foot on right knee, and then bring your leg in. And breathe here. In whatever version you are, breathe. And then, if you are here, just walk your hands up. And if you think like I'm too fast, just stay there. Then tuck your toes under, lift your knee, and lift up into downward dog or into table. Both versions are fine. You're just gonna flip around. And then come on to the side and lie down on your back. I'm just waiting for everybody to come onto the back. Take your time. Bring the feet in a little bit. We come into spinal twist. So lift your hips and bring your hips over towards the right. So two options. You can stretch out your left leg, bring your right knee in, and roll over into a spinal twist. So another thing you can do with your block is you can bring the block or the box over to the left side. Now you have lifted your legs and your hips, and they're over on the right. And then you can just let both knees fall to the side and use the block as support. Because maybe if your knees have to touch all the way down towards the floor, it might be a little too much. So the blocks or the books can support you here, and you can relax a little bit. And then just breathe into your twist, into your lower back. If you feel like you can, roll your head over to the other side. And breathe here. Relax the shoulders, the jaw, the legs. And then slowly bring your knees back to the middle, bring your hips back to the middle. Take the block or the box, bring them over to the other side. And then bring your hips over to the left and either stretch out your right leg and roll your left leg over towards the other side, or bend both knees and bring them over to the other side. And if you feel like you don't need the blocks, that's fine too. Just find your version that works for your body. You can also turn your head over towards the left, to the opposite side, in case your legs are the other way. And then slowly bring the head back. Take another deep breath in. Try to let the legs become a little more heavy. Or maybe it's the shoulder and the arm that needs to be a little more heavy. Soften into the twist. And then slowly bring up one leg and then the other. And then just for fun, no, it's not just for fun, it's really good for your lower back, but it's fun to bring the knees in, come into happy baby pose, hold on to the feet, lift your feet. And if this is not an option for you, just rock your knees, your lower back, your hips gently from side to side. You can also go back to the circle if this is something you like, and then just change the direction. If you are in happy baby pose, lengthen the back of the neck, push your elbows a little into the inside of the shin bones, and flex your feet as if you want to imprint your foot onto the ceiling, and relax and feel that lower back lengthening. Breathe. Relax the shoulders. And then slowly let those feet come back to the floor. And use all your props, all your things to get really comfy. So either put this underneath your head, and maybe you have something to put underneath your knees. So if you have a chair ready, now I have a chair here that's not really, it's not really perfect for this. But if you have a chair at home, and you could also put your legs on the wall. I know Ella likes to do that. So if you have a chair at home, it's absolutely the sweetest thing for your lower back to put your legs on top of the chair. So it also depends. So maybe you see this right now, the height of the chair. So if the chair is a little bit too high and it squeezes your calf muscles, it doesn't feel good. So, and you can also take them out at any time. So if you have something like this right now, and maybe something underneath your head, and bring your arms right beside your body, I promise this is fantastic. And it takes the pressure off your lower back a little bit. If you don't want to go for a chair right now, or you don't have a chair close to you right now, or maybe you don't like it, just put a blanket underneath your knees. So imagine the blanket right now there, so that your knees are a little lifted. That relaxes the lower back as well. And the simplest thing to relax that lower back is really to bend the knees, put the knees together, your feet out as wide as the mat, maybe bring the hands onto your belly, and just with every exhale, you try to soften a little bit. And it doesn't really have to be the softening in the lower back first. It can be any other part of your body. So just get ready. I'm going to dim the light a little. And when you have found your comfortable position, just, get comfy. Then take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale out through the mouth with a big ah. Everything is done. And just because it feels so nice, do it one more time. Inhale through the nose. And then bring your attention down to your feet. And start to relax your toes. Your ankles, calf muscles, the back of your knees, the top of your knees, hamstrings, thighs, hips, glutes, and let your legs become heavy. Your next exhale, let go. And then soften your belly, your chest. Imagine the inner organs getting space, sinking down, spreading out. Relax your lower back, your middle back, your upper back. Relax your shoulders, elbows, wrists, all 10 fingers. And then with your next exhale, allow the arms to get heavy. Relax the back of your neck, the back of your head, the top of your head, your forehead, temples, cheekbones, unhinge the jaw, relax the tongue in your mouth, soften your lips, your eyes, and the space between your eyebrows. Now slowly, without changing anything, bring your attention to the outside noise. Maybe the rain, maybe the wind, cars, people, birds. Just observe. And then let that go. And bring the attention back to your room. And the noise is there. Observe. And now let that go. Now focus your attention on your breathing. Start to deepen your breathing. And then start to wiggle your toes, your fingers. Stretch your legs. Stretch your arms. Take your time. Slow motion. Breathing. Stretching. And then when you're ready, bring one knee into the chest and then the other. And then roll onto your right side. Stay there for a moment. And then slowly use your hands to push yourself up into a seated position. Keep your eyes closed if you like, or gaze softly down. And then bring your hands in front of your chest. And lower the chin towards your chest. And thank yourself for coming here. I thank you for coming. Namaste.